Hello Nakama, in this video we will see how a C program is presented, a general form of a C program. Before to start, I have created the GitHub repository about this tutorial. So I put the link in the comment, and you can download each time I finish a video. You can download it from here, download zip. For those on Windows, you download the zip, and those for Linux, you can copy this link and then open your terminal. You open your terminal and do git clone. You copy, you paste the link, and you will get a folder with this name C Pro Tutor inside your computer, and then you can run the file, or you can compile and run. But for those on Windows, you can run directly in dev C++. It is explained here how to run. So okay, before to start the code, I want to explain graphically how the general form of the code in the C program is presented. Okay, you have your file here, main.c. You have, okay, I put this form. You have firstly, okay, let me delete it. You have firstly, okay, you have firstly the header part. That is the presentation of a code, of a source code. The header first, and then you have some function. You have some function, the part of function, and then you have the part of so you have some statements inside those functions. Okay, so the function, the statements are inside the function, and you can have many functions. So that is the main structure, and then you can develop it. The function, let me, okay, a function in C programming, you have a main function. It is already called directly when you run your program. Okay, the computer search directly for look for the main function directly. So you have okay, let me delete it. I write it directly here. You have a function is always take curly brace beginning and ending, and inside you have some statements like that. You can have statement 1, and a statement always finish by semicolon. Statement 1, statement 2, and then statement 1, statement 2, and statement 3, and so on. Okay, that is the developed form of that. And you can have many functions, and then you have at least one function we call main function. So the main function is this function. So to develop it again, you can have this form. You can have, okay, let me just copy this, copy this. You can have another developed form. This function is called main function. Okay, it's main. And in C programming, you always precise the type of the returned value. Okay, it can be nothing. If you have nothing to return like value, you put void, but generally you put int. Okay, that's why you see generally int main, parentheses, curly braces, open ending, and then statement inside. So the main function is mandatory for your code. Okay, what about header? The header is everything about preprocessor directives. We recall more about in the further videos, but for now I can explain you briefly. What's about it. So you have your main function. The header, about the header, you have any header start by GS, by hashtag, and generally you have the directive include, hashtag include, you have hashtag define, you have hashtag, for example, if not defined. Okay, that is the common directive you have, and then the role of this is to compute some operation directly when you finish to type inside your code source. So this header part is already compute, it's already execute before you compile the file. Okay, you will see the role of this part later, but for now just get it like that. And okay, let's try with just include permit you, the directive include permit you to include a header file, the header file, like stgh, and it's between the less than and greater than, like that. And then it permits you to include some declaration function about stgio. stgio means standards input outputs. So what is happened, this directive do something like this. Let me push it down like that. The stgio.h contain some function. Okay, you have the stgio.h there, that is the file. Inside you have declaration, you have printf function. You can have printf is to display a message on your screen. You have scanf to take an input. Okay, input like your keyboard, from your keyboard, from your mouse, or any input devices. You can have put function is always to display a message on your screen, and then all those function is inside the stgio.h. So the name of this is stg.h. okay, it's the file, the name of the file. And then the directive include stgio.h. Directly when you finish to type this line, this line is replaced by those function. It's just those function. There are more function inside this file. So that is what is happened when you type hashtag include stgio.h. directly. Your file, this part is directly executed, and it take the content inside stg.h file and replace there. So the header file, like stg.h, there are many header file. We call it generally system file, but you can have your own header file. You will see how to create it. So that's all for the presentation of the general form of a C program. And then you can have many functions, like you can have for example, to explain briefly what the function means. A function, at the basics, the function comes from mathematics. When you have, for example, f of x equal, for example, x plus 1, okay, the term function comes from mathematics, where you calculate, you have a rule, okay, to calculate something like this fx equal x plus 1. When you fix x to a value, you get a value of fx. But in programming, function is just a group of statements. It's just a group of statements with a name. Okay, you name it, you give a name of this group of function. For example, I can have a function to calculate the addition of two numbers. Function, I call it, for example, add function. Add function take like arguments. It's important to understand, to remember about the word argument. Okay, arguments is very important. You will see why I'm saying that. The add function take two numbers, x and y, for example, and then there is a opening curly braces and close, because any function or any statement will make a block of code has to have opening curly braces and ending curly braces. It's important to understand that also. So inside, what we do, x plus y, and then I store it inside another variable. I can call it result equal, and like this is a statement to also it's finished by semicolon, and another statement to return the value, if they return the result. Okay, this function computes the addition of those two numbers you want, x and y, and then return the result. We will see more about in the video about function. Okay, so you can have this function in the same file like that, or in the another file where you will see the role of header file. You can create your header file and put the function at your header file, and then call the header file at the beginning of your main file. Okay, you will see everything about that, but for now you can have many functions inside the same file like that. You can have the main function is mandatory, and you can have another function, and this or those functions you have, you can call them inside your main function by just write its name, their name. You can write its name directly, and you replace the argument. For example, in this case, the argument x and y, you can replace by the value directly, like 2 or 3, and then semicolon. That is the call function. We call it the call function. You call the function by its name, and you put the value demanded by the function to compute the purpose. That is why the function has to do. So I think that's all to understand before to start to code. Okay, I can go to VS Code to implement that. That's my main.c. I can replace it, so I can leave this hashtag include stdio that I'm saying. Okay, I forgot to explain about comments. You can explain a line by add a comment. You have a comment on just one line, so you put generally after a statement. So a comment is just to explain a statement. It is not executed by your compiler. It's not interpreted by your compiler or your interpreter. So the comment explains just, for example, a line. When you push 2 slides like that, is to explain one line generally. This statement one do something, for example. Okay, and then it's better to put in VS Code. For example, here I put the comment, this statement. Okay, you see my AI propose me a completion, prints hello world to the console. Okay, prints hello world to the console. So the console is what I'm called the terminal. Okay, it's the same thing. I can have a console directly in VS Code. That is why it is a advantage. That is the console, the terminal. So to print this on my terminal, I can execute or type or use a command or a command to execute by myself. I think I have not installed the interpreter. Okay, I can execute by myself just by type / and the name of my file, the name of the executable. Okay, main. Okay, to have this executable, I use GCC compiler. The command is GCC and the name of the source code file main.c. and then it's produced me a.out. Okay, let me remove everything. Let me remove a.out, main, and main.o. Okay, it's gone. I just have my main.c. This is for VS Code, it's not important, and readme is for the GitHub to explain how to compile everything. So that is my code source file, and then I compile with GCC main.c like that. It produces a.out though. So by default you have the name of the file, executable file is a.out. If I execute, it's a.out, hello world. I've explained it yet. It's not and then if I remove a.out and I can use the second form with precise the name of the executable, I put main and then execute main. So that is you have remarked this line is not interpreted, it's just interpreted a print. Okay, just to explain. So generally you have a second form to explain, for example, the block of code. If you have, for example, another line, print f life. If it is a game, for example, you can have life, you can have a score. Okay, the AI proposed me score. You can have level, you can have what again, game over, for example. And then to explain a block of code like that, what is the purpose of this block of code? You use /star, and then you have the closing is star slash. So inside it you have your explanation, and you can write on many line like that to explain the purpose of the code just under it. And then you have many forms to use it. You can do /start and go directly at the line, and go line put a star like that. No, it's not. So there is convention to arrange your comment. I don't remember. Okay, I put the second star, I think. Okay, when you put the second thing and to go at to the new line, you can just go to the line, and a star is automatically added like that. You just go to the new line as is automatically, to have many points if you have a big explanation about your block of code. So the stdio_h has another function to display to the screen. For example, I use put to print end of program. Okay, to display end of program, and I save, I compile. Okay, there's an error because I avoid here. I compile and then I execute. You see hello world life 100. Okay, to make a good disposition, I can add an anti \n. Okay, \n again, Okay, it's just to go to the new line. Okay, it's not important now. I've not compiled again. Compile, execute. Okay, you see it goes to the line. It goes to the line to have a good presentation. Live, score, level, and game over, end of program. All those things is printed. You see that this permit to do the same thing that this, but there is a difference. But you not see this now. That's all for this video. Int main, we will talk about this int, what is the purpose of this int, and which different type of preprocessor here on the other operation we have, the different type of preprocessor directives, and so many things about the details, about the code, about the statement. And the next video is about data manipulation. So we talk about variable, type of variable, how to take a input, okay, to take input to make output. You have already look about output, but you will explore more about it. And then see you to the next video. Take care of you, Nakama.
Comme au Beaux-Arts, loyal, poli, droit et sincère, je respecte le code du Bushido. Mais si on met les armes à terre, c'est pour te faire une prise d'aïkido. Et la concurrence au cimetière, ne pensez pas mourir aussitôt. Mon katana taille leurs artères et broie leurs organes génitaux. Quand j'étais gauche, j'en ai pris des coups, j'en ai dans le ventre comme un seppuku.